Next up, we have the Zoar incident, not the Zohar incident, Zoar. The unannounced attack on a Galaxy Federation planet in motion space by non-Federation planet Zoar is taken to have been the starting point of the incident. However, as surrounding planets were taken into the space-time anomaly after the Miltian conflict, the truth of the matter is still unknown. One theory is that the radical faction of the former Republic of Miltia rejected the idea of joining the Federation, instead joining forces with their former immigrant fleet brethren living on Zoar and taking military action. Sorry, I got confused because we mentioned the immigrant fleet. Apparently, Miltia was part of the immigrant fleet as well as Zoar was? That's news to me. Another theory states that the Federation's Salvatores, pretending to be the radical faction, invade neighboring areas in the name of preserving the peace, but actually hoping to place all of Miltian space under their command. Miltian conflict, We did not go over this one. Sorry. The final conflict of the Zoar incident. So the Zoar incident started the Miltian conflict, in which a fierce battle between the Federation government and the UTIC organization unfolded upon Xion's homeland of Miltia. The Federation government's military initiated its third descent operation, this time including the URTV Special Forces. According to records, UTIC organization founder Joachim Mizrahi caused the Zohar to go out of control, producing a space-time anomaly. Supposedly. Next up, we have locations. This is the first time that we see that there is indeed kind of an upgrade to the S-Line division database entry here. So pretty much everything here is new. Wait, there's nothing new here, is there? I don't see anything new. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new here. They're telling me that there was something new, but I swore I read all of this before. All right, the Elsa. A Lohengrin-class passenger freighter transport. Length 166 meters, weight 8,400 tons, captained by Matthews. Originally a high-speed personal space cruiser, it was granted to Matthews by a certain person as compensation for his services. It was later remodeled by Matthews, Tony, Hammer, and the rest of the Elsa's crew, who now use it for retrieving junk and other objects. I assume by the rest of the crew they mean the robots, because I don't think Chaos was around then. The ship is rigged from stem to stern with unauthorized hidden weaponry, a fact that is unnoticeable from the outside. Its main propulsion engine has been replaced with the latest model logical drive, heavily tuned. In Tony's words, it boasts the fastest speed of any space vessel in the universe. I seriously doubt that, though. After landing on Second Miltia, it was refurbished to add alterations to the structure and internal layout of the ship. In particular, the eggs hangar on the bottom of the ship was enlarged to where it can maintain several ESs at once. This remodeling was headed up by the Professor. Once again, between episodes 1 and 2, they're explaining that now. Matthews is in love with his swan-like ship, but it is currently up as collateral for a loan from the Kukai Foundation, as you might expect. Next up, we have the Damarung, a free-orbiting colony that serves as Vector Industries' main headquarters. It is so large, 1,000 kilometers in length, that it is almost like an artificial planet. The nerve center of the entire group and its affiliated businesses is gathered on this colony. Xion's living quarters, as well as the first R&D division where she was stationed, were also here. The office where Vector CEO Wilhelm converses with the Testament is laid out in the upper block of the Damarung, which... Was it always there? Like spelled that way with the umlaut on the A? Whatever. The Damarung is categorized as a colony, but its mobility and firepower far outclasses even the military's large battleships, so it's possibly the most powerful ship in the universe. Of course it is. Vector made it. When the Kukai Foundation was in danger after being surrounded by Gnosis, it appeared before Xion with 3 allied ships. With those ships, it launched the powerful Rhine Maiden, a particularly noteworthy part of its power. It, cleaned house with that thing. The music of Wagner is always playing in Wilhelm's office. That, combined with the name Rhine Maiden, gives one a good idea of his tastes. German. Next up, we have Second Miltia. With Old Miltia, the previous capital planet, swallowed up into the space-time anomaly, the capital was hurriedly relocated to a habitable planet that had just completed Stage 2 terraforming within the same Tantus arm. The planet is still being modified today, but primeval forests still flourish throughout the land. It is blessed with a great deal of water, making it reminiscent of Lost Jerusalem. I don't remember seeing any water when I went there. Helmer, representative of Second Miltia's autonomous state government, is currently at the helm. The government contributed to the establishment of the Kukai Foundation. In practice, the two are deeply connected, working as a single group or force. Xian and Jin's house is located in the suburbs of Second Miltia. Immigration to the planet has been taking place since the tail end of Stage 1 terraforming, but Xian's grandfather apparently settled there before that time. The planet is 13,200 kilometers in diameter. Its gravity is roughly the same as Earth, 1.03 times that of Earth. Why do you refer to it as Earth? I assumed Lost Jerusalem was Earth. All right, next up we have the Durandal, a heavily armed Kukai Foundation ship that extends over 4,000 meters in length. Junior is normally in command of the ship, otherwise it is run by sisters Mary and Shelley. Its front end plunges into the center of the Foundation colony to dock with it, turning the whole ship into a metropolis. It has now become a tourist attraction and is even listed in travel guides. The specialized design came about as the result of careful thought over the evacuation of the colony in an emergency. In such a case, citizens would evacuate directly into the Durandal, which would then take off, abandoning the colony. The Durandal's activities mainly involve missions from the Second Miltian government or contact subcommittee that must be kept from the public eye, even though it's a tourist attraction. As a result, the Durandal's movements are not a matter of public record. The UTIC organization has taken advantage of this situation to ensnare the Durandal in the past with the fake footage. Currently, its contracted mission is to protect the Zohar emulators and hunt down the Gnosis. But it's a tourist attraction. Like the Empire State Building doesn't go on missions around the world, you know what I mean? Next up we have where we are now, Pedia Island, in case you forgot. A small island approximately 2 kilometers in circumference in the Vertex Archipelago on Second Miltia. So here we do see the water of Second Miltia. The Vertex Archipelago is famous as a vacation destination. However, now that most people are concentrating on Fata Morgana Island, which is being fostered as a tourist spot by the Second Miltian government, almost no tourists visit these islands, making them a hidden gem for sightseeing, and also a place for Xian to hide, apparently. Now we have Miltia, Xian and Jin's home planet, more often referred to today as Old Miltia, to differentiate it from Second Miltia. Site of the Miltian conflict and birthplace of many other incidents and tragedies, it was sealed away for 14 years when its region of space was blocked off from the UMN. However, after the Y data was leaked, the path to Miltia was unlocked, and the planet once again turned into a battlefield over the original Zohar resting within Labyrinthos. After landing on Miltia, Xian was faced with a painful decision in front of the Zohar. She also learned the startling truth hidden behind the Miltian conflict. However, despite having destroyed the Zohar control system to stop the awakening of Udu, the Omega system sprung into action by Ormus's hand, and Proto-Omega was born, destroying the planet itself in the process. On that day, Miltia disappeared from space forever, because Proto-Omega, which was not that tough in that fight. Next up, we have the Miltian Hierocracy, a solar system-wide state formed on Miltia, the only habitable planet in the Miltian system, Galaxy 18, Tantus Arm, Fourth Finger. Since most of its citizens originate from the immigrant fleet and its political structure followed fleet doctrine, the nation was governed independently without the input of the Galaxy Federation. Later, it buckled under Federation pressure and moved to an autonomous state form of government with a representative appointed by the Federation government as head of state. However, this status of essentially being under the control of the Federation government served to antagonize the public and became one of the causes of the Miltian conflict. Really? That was one of the causes? Much of the later UTIC organization's membership was built from the remnants of the hierocracy government's military. The Miltian Autonomous State, a solar system-wide state formed by the Miltian hierarchy by shifting its structure after it joined the Galaxy Federation. The idea of a Federation representative serving as head of state resulted in smoldering discontent, leading to the outbreak of the Miltian conflict. Of course, there were other circumstances behind the conflict that were not revealed to the public. With this conflict, the Miltian star system became isolated from the UMN, and the remaining hierarchy government officials were annihilated. Most of the citizens who escaped planet Miltia moved to a habitable... Why do I have such a hard time with that? Habitable planet 10 parsecs, about 36 light years away in a neighboring star system where terraforming had just been completed using Miltian funds. Honestly, I don't remember where parsecs comes from. Later, I know what a light year is, but parsecs I'm not sure. A light year, for the record, is a unit of distance. It's how far light travels in a year, so it's huge. Later, this star system would inherit the Miltian name, and the planet would come to be called Second Miltia. Lieutenant General Helmer was chosen from the immigrant fleet military to become the new parliamentary representative, and the planet has been stable ever since. Its capital is Mitre. Mitre? Sure. So Helmer was with the immigrant fleet military. That's good to know. So Second Miltia is 36 light years away from Old Miltia, which is why they couldn't find it, I guess. Miltian space. Miltian space refers to the group of solar systems in Galaxy 18, Tantus Arm, fourth finger. So yeah, intergalactic. There's 18 galaxies apparently, at least. Second Miltia is a solar system about 36 light years away in the third finger. Miltian space was the site of the most intense fighting in a war that completely engulfed the Galaxy Federation. That war, the Miltian conflict, was named after the area. Planet Carioca, a planet with a wealth of national-level support programs, making it inviting to many businesses and university research facilities. Vector Industries' first and third R&D divisions have constructed several facilities here. It was in the research room of the Type 1 OS design department, the precursor to the Cosmos project, that the archetype went out of control, leading to tragedy. So apparently that happened on planet Carioca. The flashbacks where the archetype went ahead and booted up and killed Kevin. Then we have planet Zavarov, a planet that is home to a deep-seated Salvator force. The Yuriev Institute was opened here. After her separation from Joachim, Yuli Mizrahi lived on this planet with Sakura. Since it belonged to a solar system near Miltia's, it became the base of operations for the Galaxy Federation peacekeeping detachment fleet during the Miltian conflict. Next up, planet Mictum, the current name for planet Abraxas. The real reason why the planet was named after a celestial body is unknown, but the prevailing theory claims it was due to the fourth planet in the Mictum system being the only one habitable by humanity. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Habitable. There we go. Oh my god, habitable. I am stupid. Next up. We are done here. We are done. I'm going to take a quick break, though. Good God. Now it's time to get into weapons. There are quite a few of them. Including URTVs. All right. First up, we have eggs. Short for Anti-Gnosis Weapon System. Like I said in the first game, pronounced like eggs. A piloted vehicle, not necessarily limited to humanoid form, in order to combat the intangible Gnosis. Eggs designed for many different combat situations are being developed. They're smaller than what we saw in the last game. I don't particularly like them. The main engine is a transfer generator. All energy is directly transferred from the mothership or mother unit. For this reason, each unit can operate for an unlimited amount of time. In other words, there's remote charging, wireless charging of these eggs from the mothership. I love that idea. Absolutely love it. The model currently being mass-produced for the Army and the UTIC organization is the AG series from Hyams Heavy Industries. However, the specs of Vector Industries VX series not only exceed those of the AG series, but the crafts are also aimed towards the consumer market and are currently being tested within government special forces and limited parts of the Army. I assume it's for like construction, not like for at-home use. Next up, we have AIMS, short for Assault Maneuver Weapon System, pronounced like AIMS, a term used for all humanoid assault weapons that work in conjunction with a mothership or escort craft. Due to a lack of anti-gnosis equipment, AIMS are superior to eggs in both cost effectiveness and general purpose functionality, and are widely used by the Federation government, autonomous states, the immigrant fleet, and other forces. Within the UTIC organization, Richards Pylum and Herman Scudam are both AIMS. We saw them once and they were like, "What, you don't remember me?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." They were towards the beginning of the second game. The unit Jin was piloting during the Milton conflict was also in AIMS. We didn't really get to see that one too much. I think they destroyed it pretty quick. Next up, we have Doctus's AIMS. An AIMS customized by Scientia for Doctus. Its codename is Astrea. However, its design concept is closer to that of an AES than that of an AIMS. How Scientia learned the design data of ES craft is unknown, but she's a hacker, so it's not out of the line to assume that. Secondary weapon system, Cosmos' main combat equipment. This refers to her current armament, frame material, and substitute armor materials. The secondary weapon system made experimental use of a PT cartridge type phase transfer cannon. The limited unit size, however, meant that the places and situations in which it could be used were restricted. For this reason, the tertiary weapon system with a phase transfer unit installed as standard equipment was produced on 2nd Militia. Tertiary weapon system. Cosmos's optional weaponry consisting of 2 phase transfer cannons, 1 on each shoulder. It was designed by Kevin while he was still alive and built at Vector's 2nd R&D division on 2nd Militia. Because the phase transfer cannon units are made to be as compact as possible, the recoil when they are fired is very high. The version 2 Cosmos combat frame is required in order to fire these weapons. So Kevin gave her weapons that she could not use until game 2. The PT cartridge type phase transfer cannon used by Cosmos when the Song of Nephilim appeared had been created as a test bed for these cannons. When the cannons are fired, a cooling field in the shape of glowing wings is created behind the unit. So those are indeed intentional. Designer children, humans who have been genetically enhanced during the early stages of their conception. Gattaca. They are referred to as Salvator, Savior, and their appearance, intelligence, and physical attributes have all been enhanced. Their widespread creation was designed to counter the immigrant fleet, which is able to use a part of the Zohar's abilities. I'm sorry, what? The life recycling law, approved in TC 4591, was actually created in order to mask this process. The first Salvator, Dmitry Yuriev, was behind this action. So Dmitry Yuriev is the Salvator, indeed. In a broader sense of the term, Junior, Mary, Shelley, and Andrew could also be categorized as designer children. Who the hell is Andrew?